Hi students, how are you all of you? Dear student, you all are very warmly welcome in this online session and our own YouTube channel. If you are new on our channel, dear student, please subscribe it so you will get the link of next lesson immediately. As well, you will get the exercise also. Yes? But to get it, you have to subscribe it. Okay? Now, this is our third lesson, religious synthesis. Already lesson number 1 and 2 is uploaded on our channel. As well, you can get the exercise of lesson number 1 and lesson number 2 also. Yes, this religious synthesis we are going to understand today. Yes, see, diversity of languages and religions is an important characteristics of the Indian society. When we are understanding about Indian society, diversity of languages and the religions, we can find more in our India, because so many languages speaks in India and different kinds of religions are available in India. Considering these features, the Indian Constitution has adopted the principle of secularism. And see, consider this diversity of languages and the religious. What Indian Constitution has done? Indian Constitution has adopted the principle of secularism, that all the religions should be get secularism. Yes, in medieval India, two attempts to bring about religious synthesis in local life were made on the basis of this principle. And when the medieval India was there, okay, two attempts to bring about the religious synthesis in social life where these principles were used. Among these effects, the Bhakti movement, Sikhism, and the Sufi sects have a significant place. And who has taken the significant place in this case, dear students? The Bhakti movement, Sikhism, and the Sufi sect, they have taken the significant place. These different streams of thought arose in different parts of India, and these differences we can find in the different parts of India. They emphasized harmony between the different sects and religions along with devotion to God. And what was the motto of them? What they used to do? They used to bring the harmony in different sects and the religions. What? Along with devotions to God. And as well, they used to pray to God also. While praying, there should be harmony between two religions. We shall study them in this chapter, and exact what was it we are going to understand in this following chapter. Yes, dear student, this chapter is religious synthesis. About all the religions we are going to understand. Initially, rituals and Brahmadhyans were greatly emphasized in the Indian religious life. Yes, see, initially the rituals and Brahmadhyan, they were greatly emphasized in Indian religious life. In the medieval period, they gave way to Bhakti Marga, to path of devotion. And in that time, what had happened? The way came of the Bhakti movement. And what is Bhakti movement? It was the path of devotion. In Bhakti Marga, in Bhakti movement, what people used to do? People used to pray to God. Yes. Bhakti Marga did not give undue importance to heritages, which further facilitated a religious synthesis. See, what they have told it here. This Bhakti Marga did not give undue importance to heritages. Those heritages were there. This Bhakti Marga, it was not giving the importance, and which further facilitated in religious synthesis, and which had been facilitated later on to the religious synthesis. In the different regions of India, we find different forms of path of devotions. In the first line, we have understood that India has the diversity of languages, religious, yes. So the different people, they were having different path of devotional, yes. This helped the development of religious languages. See, now we will start from the Bhakti movement. And what they used to use the Bhakti movement, they used to have the common people language instead of Sanskrit. And in the Bhakti movement, they didn't used to use the Sanskrit. Instead of using Sanskrit, they used to use the common language of the people. So the people, they would understand about the God and the Bhakti. Yes, now we shall start from the Bhakti movement. Yes, here you can see on the screen. It is believed that the Bhakti movement originated in South India. Where does it originated? Where it is started, dear student? It has originated in the South India. The Nainar and Alwar Bhakti movements emerged in this region, and in South India, the Nainar and Alwar this emerged. The Nainars were devotees of Shiva, and those Nainars were there to whom they used to follow Lord Shiva, and those Alvars were there, they were the devotees of Vishnu. And Alvars, Nainars, they used to follow the Shiva, Alvars, they used to follow the Vishnu. There were also attempts to consider Shiva and Vishnu as one and the same and bring them together. And what had happened, dear students? There was an attempt of the consider Shiva and Vishnu. There was at one place. Yes, it was combined together, and wait. Harihar idols which depict half Vishnu and half Shiva were produced in this period on the large scale. And in that period, what had happened? The Harihar idols, who he has done what? Half Vishnu and half Shiva, one image he had made. People belongs to all social strata and participated in these bhakti movements. And from the large people belonging to all the parts, they have participated in this bhakti movement. They preached value like love of God, humanity. And what do they have preached? They have preached that the value like love of God and humanity. Yes. Now here come on this page. Compassion, mercy, etc. Ramanuja and other acharyas strengthens these the base of the bhakti movements in South India. Now, who had made the base of the bhakti movement in South India, dear student? This Ramanuja and acharyas. Yes, they have made the best bhakti movement in South India. They told people that God is for all. And what do they have told to the people? That God is for all. God does not discriminate, and God does not discriminate means God does not tell that he is poor, he is rich, he is old, he is young. This kind of things God doesn't discriminate. God is not telling that God is for everyone and everyone is for the God. The teachings of Ramanuja had a great impact in North India also, and the teaching which was given by the Ramanuja, it was had a great impact in North India also. Sant Ramananda strengthened the bhakti movement in North India. See, and in North India, who has strengthened the bhakti movement? This Ramananda. Yes. Sant Kabir is well-known Sant in the bhakti movement. And when we are understanding about this bhakti movement, we can say that Sant Kabir, he was also a well-known Sant in bhakti movement. He did not attach any importance to places of pilgrimage. See, what he has told, he did not attach any important places to pilgrimage, vartas or idol worship. Yes. See, he was telling that any pilgrimage, we should not go any places for worshipping. We should not go anywhere vartas or idol worship. Yes, but for him, truth was God. What was God for him? Truth. Yes, what was the real things? These are the God for him. He thought that all human beings are equal, and what he was thinking, that all the people from all the religions are equal. He did not believe any differences based on caste, creed, sex and religions. See, Sant Kabir, he was thinking all the people they are equal, and he was not believing on any differences based on caste, creed, sect and religions. He was not thinking that he is from different caste, he is from different creed, he is from different sect or religion. Everyone was same for him. He wanted to bring about Hindu and Muslim unity. See, very nice motto he had. What he wanted? He wanted to bring Hindu and Muslim together. He criticized the extremely orthodox people in both Hindu and Muslim religious in strong terms, and he wanted to bring this Hindu and Muslim together, these two religions strong terms. Okay, now in Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu underlines the importance of Krishna Bhakti. See, in Bengal what had happened? This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he did, he underlined the importance of Krishna Bhakti. He had started to tell to the people what is Krishna Bhakti. Due to his teachings, people joined the Bhakti movement in transcending the boundaries of caste and creed. And because of him, the people, they have started to have people join the Bhakti movement, transcending the boundaries of caste and creed. Under his influences, Shankardeva spread the Bhakti movement in Assam, and with the help of him, the Shankardeva, he has started to spread Bhakti movement where in Assam. Narsi Mehta was a renowned Vaishnava saint in Gujarat. See, this Narsi Mehta, who was he? He was renowned Vaishnava Sant. He was also Sant where in the Gujarat. He was an ardent devotee of Krishna, and this Narsi Mehta, he was also a devotee of Krishna. He was also following to the Krishna. He gave the message of equality. He is known as the first poet of the Gujarati language. And what was he? He was giving the message of equality, and he is known as the first poet of Gujarati language. Who was he, dear student? He was famous for first poet of the Gujarati language. See, Sant Mirabai traced the importance of devotion of Krishna. Even Sant Mirabai, what she has done, she has traced the importance of devotions to Krishna. She belongs to the royal family of Mewad. From where was she, dear student? She was from Mewad, and she was from belonging to royal family. She renounced all pleasure of the royal family and immersed herself in devotion to Krishna. She has left the family, and she has given herself to devotion to the Krishna. She composed devotional verse in Rajasthani and Gujarati, and where she used to compose her devotions in Rajasthani and Gujarati. Her devotional verse give her devotional message of devotion. And what was she doing? It was giving the message of devotion. Let's come on the next page, page number 12. See, she was giving the message of devotions, tolerance and humanity. Sant Sena was an influential Sant. See, here we can tell about Sant Sena was influential Sant. Sant Rohidas was a great Sant. Even now different sons are coming here. Sant Rohidas, he was also a great Sant. He gave the message of equality and humanity. What message Sant Rohidas has given, dear student? The message of equality and humanity. Surdasa, a great poet of Hindi literature, composed the poetical work Sur Sagar, devotion of Krishna. Krishna Bhakti is the subject of his work. See, Surdasa, he was a great poet of Hindi literature. What he has composed? He has composed the poetical work of Sur Sagar. What was it? It was devotion to Krishna. Krishna Bhakti is the subject of his work. The verse on Krishna Bhakti composed by the Muslim Sant Rakshan are melodious, and one Muslim Sant was there. He has composed about Krishna Bhakti. Yes, it was melodious. Ramcharitra Mansa of Santa Tulsidas is a beautiful composition expressing devotion to Rama. One Ramcharitra is there. Ramcharitra Mansa of Santa Tulsidas is a beautiful composition. He has composited this, and it was expressing the devotion to Rama. Yes, dear students, understood up to here? Now see, the remaining part we will see in the next video, because if you continue it will be a quite big video, then you may also get bored. So I am making two parts. To see the second part also, I am giving you link in the description box. You have to see it, you have to understand it. Thank you.